Hello, good morning. How was the paper? Okay, but it was only on three models, na? But I think I had told you, na, in my lecture. No, no, no. Before that, I had conducted two lectures of BSc First English compulsory when regular lectures were being conducted. Have you attended my lecture in college? At least one? Oh, that's why. Otherwise, I had already told this in my lecture in college. Okay, let it be. But at least, do you have? Are you sure that you will clear this exam? Okay. It was not that difficult, okay? Because questions on vocabulary, narration, and the description were quite easy. Yes. But didn't you have a super guide or any notes? Oh, okay, let it be. But I don't think that anyone will fail in the exam because the question paper was I think there were 10 to 12 questions were very easy. Okay, in that question paper. Hope so. Okay, so today we shall begin with semester second syllabus. Okay, so do you have any idea of how many modules are there in semester second for English? Okay, so first I will give you the names of modules. Okay, that you have to study in this semester. So as I said in the last semester also there were four modules, okay, out of which three were prescribed for your syllabus, okay. In this semester also there are four modules, but one module has been removed from your syllabus for this year, okay. So you have to study only three modules for this semester also. So module 5 is again in module 5 we have two parts. First is of telephonic communication and second is Lost Forest. Okay, it is a lesson by Johannes Jensen. Then we also have one poem in this module that is Stopping by Woods. Okay, Stopping by Woods by Robert Frost. Okay, this is module number 5. In module 6, we have one communication skill part that is English for specific purposes. Okay, and then have one lesson that is putting data to effective use. Okay, it is by Satish Tripathi. Satish Tripathi. Then we have module 7. Module 7, we have one communication skill. One part is based on communication skill that is English for advertising. English for advertising. And there is a poem, an epitaph by W.H. Davis. Okay. So if you want to write this, you can do that. we will at least come to know the syllabus for this semester. Okay, so there are three modules. In module first, we have telephonic communication. Lost the Forest is a lesson by Johannes Jensen. Then we have one poem also, that is Talking by Woods by Robert Frost. Then in module six, we have one communication part, that is English for specific purposes. And there is one lesson also, that is putting data to effective use by Satish Tripathi. In module 7, we have one communication skill part, that is English for advertising. And we also have one poem by W.H. Davies. Okay, W.H. Davies. Okay, so this is the syllabus for semester second. Let me see how many students have joined the lecture. Okay, 4 students have joined the lecture so far. Okay, doesn't matter. We will proceed with those who have joined the lecture. Okay, and today we are going to begin with module 5. Okay, that is telephonic communication. You might have heard this word before, right? Have you heard this? Okay, then can you tell me what is telephonic communication? Okay, yes, yes, that is telephonic communication. See, in the modern era, technology has brought so much inventions and development, right? So, due to that technological development, we have so many devices, okay, for communications. Like we have fax machines, we use Gmail also, we use various applications like Telegram, WhatsApp, and many like this to communicate with other people. But even though we have such advanced applications or devices, the importance of telephone cannot be ignored, because today also in many business organizations or government sectors, telephone is widely used to communicate with the people. So, but in telephonic communication, we must know that telephonic communication is different from face-to-face communication. Okay, so can you tell me the difference between telephonic communication and oral communication? Yes. What is the difference between telephonic communication and face-to-face? Yes. Yes. So in telephonic communication, we have that person before us, right? So we can maintain eye to eye contact. We can see that person's gestures, okay, so that we can understand the message that he's trying to give us, okay, or what he wants to say. But on the other hand, in telephonic communication, that person is not before us. So at that time, we have to be very careful. We have to listen to that person very carefully. Otherwise, we may not receive the message properly. So in telephonic communications, we have to be very careful about three things, because telephonic communication deals with three skills, that is listening, questioning, listening, questioning, and okay. So these three skills are very much important in telephonic communication, without which we cannot communicate effectively on the phone. One who is good at these three skills can communicate effectively on the telephone or on the phone. So in this unit, I will teach you how to communicate, okay, on the phone, or how to have a good conversation on the phone in formal as well as informal communication. Okay. Uh, if we see in our life, in our day-to-day life, or in our everyday life, we have to uh, keep choosing words, okay, to communicate with other people. But this selection of words depends on the situation in which we are communicating. Okay, so if, for example, if you are at home, or if you are having a conversation with your parents, or with your friends, or someone you know, then at that time you talk frankly. Okay, you don't need to be formal. But on the other hand, when you try to communicate with senior people, okay, or you can say when you try to communicate with your teachers, or when you go to a bank, or when you try to ask something to them, at that time you have to be very formal, right? So for example, if you are working as a receptionist in a hotel, or a manager in a bank, or a kind of office assistant, then at that time you have to be very formal, and the job or the functions that you have to perform, uh, being a worker in that organization, uh, differ, okay, from time to time. So on the telephone, what you have to do is to first is greetings, okay. That is the first thing that you have to do when you try to communicate with someone on the phone. Then what do? You introduce yourself, so that is introduction, right? After that, you may also need to receive messages or fix appointments, then book accommodations. So accommodation in a hotel, or you may have to book a seat on a plane or train. Okay. So here I have given you some points that are very important as far as telephonic communication is concerned. Okay. So in telephonic communication, first what we do, we have to greet, right, to the person whom we have called. Then we introduce ourselves, okay, that I am hello, like this. Then you ask that person something that you have called for, or you may receive messages from that person, okay. And the reason behind calling might be to fix appointment, right, or book accommodation in a hotel, or you may call to book a seat or plane on train. So in telephonic communication, all these things are very important. But in telephonic communication, you have to be very clear and precise. Okay, you have to listen to the speaker carefully and respond him clearly. Okay, and above all, you must be very polite. Okay, you have to speak to that person very politely. You cannot be arrogant. Okay, in telephonic communication. At the same time, you should speak confidently and clearly, okay, so that the other person can listen to you properly and reply to your messages immediately. So you have to develop a cheerful and friendly tone, okay, on the phone. So in this unit, I will teach you certain etiquettes of telephonic communication. Okay, so the first point that we are going to learn here is that the telephone communication begins with introduction, right? So in introduction, here I will give you some phrases, okay, that we use to introduce ourselves. So can you tell me, or do you know which introductory phrases that we use when we call someone or somewhere? How do we introduce ourselves? Okay, when we call somebody. Yes, there is Nadia, Nisha, Samaira, Shivam, Shraddha. Yes, Nisha. Yes, but that is not what you say when you call someone. Okay. Yes, yes. You first say hello. Can you tell me the difference between hello and hi? When do we make use of hello and when do we make use of hi? Yes, yes. So hi is used in informal way, or hello is used in formal way, right? So here I will give you some sentences, okay? And in your exam also there will be questions like this where hello will be removed from that place and you will have to fill it, okay? So but it will depend on the sentence, okay? You have to read that sentence carefully so that you can understand what you have to fill there, okay? So hello, this is Samir speaking. Can I talk to Megha? Okay, in this way, or there are many sentences. First, we can greet them. Okay, or first we can greet that person whom we have called, and then we can tell our name. That is, this is someone speaking. Okay, and then we can or then we can ask for the person we would like to talk to. Okay, that is, could I talk to or speak to whatever is the name of that person. Okay, then, for example, now see here in your exam, there will be a sentence like this, okay? And this is will be removed from that place, okay? So at that time, or this total phrase that could I talk, okay? These three words will be removed from that place, and we will have, and these words will be given in the alternatives, okay? And so after reading the question as well as the alternatives, you have to fill these words there so that your question can be, so that your answer will be right, okay? You can also introduce yourself by telling your number. Hello, okay, hello. Or you can ask, you can start by asking the person whom you have called. That is this, the number of the person, that mobile number or whatever it is. Then you can for the person you want to talk to. Okay. For example, Mr. Pawar. Then you can also start your introduction by saying hello, I am, and then your name. Okay. Then you can ask for the person, that is Mr. Tavan, at home or office, okay, or college, whatever. Then, hello, this or is this Shudha Pradhan, okay. Then you can ask for whether I wonder if I could talk to Joshi, okay. So in this way, you can start your telephonic communication. Okay. So if you see in all these five sentences, first we have to greet. Okay. That is hello, good morning, good evening. Okay. Or good afternoon, whatever depends on the situation. Okay. Or on the time. Then you can introduce yourself by this is Samir speaking, or you can directly ask for that person whom you have called. That hello, is this Akshita Pada? Or if you don't know the person and you just have the mobile number or the contact number of that person, then you can just call and confirm, right? That is this, and then you can say the mobile number of that person, and if that is correct, then you can say that I wish to talk to Mr. Pawar. Okay, so in this way, you can start your telephonic communication. Okay, telephonic communication starts with introduction. Okay, in which first you have to greet, and then you have to introduce yourself, and then you have to ask for the person you want to talk to. This is the first part of telephonic communication. Then the second part is that you have called for asking something to the person, or you want some kind of information from that person, but that person is not available there. Okay, at that moment. Okay, that person is not available to receive your call. So at that time, if you are there, okay, then you have to reply, and how to reply. Okay, and which phrases are used to uh, convey the message that the person that you wish to talk to is not available at the moment. Then you can say, will you hold on, please? Okay, will you hold on, please? Or mind holding on? Okay, this way you can start your conversation. Or you can also say that I am afraid the other person that you want to, or that you wish to talk to, out of station, is out of station. Is there any message for her, okay, for him or her, okay, on the name of that person. Or you can also say, or you can say that I am afraid, sir, whatever the name of that person is, then he is not here. up after 10 minutes. Okay, so in this way you can convey the message, or in this way you can reply to that person, okay, to tell that the person you wish to talk is not available at the moment or is not present there by using the sentences or phrases like this. You can say, will you hold on please, or would you mind holding on. Then you can also say that I am afraid, okay, dot dot person is out of station, is there any message for her, or the name of that person. Or you can also say, I'm afraid that Mr. or Miss dot 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 is not here now. For example, if this is the sentence that hello, I am Mr. whatever the name is Mr. Sawan at home or office or college. Okay, then and if you are at the office of Mr. Pawar and Mr. Pawar is not available there, then you can say that I am afraid Mr. Pawar is not here. Could you ring up after 10 minutes? Okay, did you understand this? Second part. I don't think that there is any difficult statements are here that you can't understand. Okay, so the third point that we have to understand here is that there are some expressions, okay, used in telephonic conversations, like I will hold on, okay, I will hold on. So when you wait for the right person to come on the phone, okay, then you say I will hold on, okay. So here you are waiting for that person, okay, to come to the phone, and at that time you have to say that I will hold on. Then you can also say that I will put on, I will put you through to him. I will put you through to him. For example, if you have called Mr. Joshi, okay, but instead of Mr. Joshi, the receptionist or someone else has answered your call, and then you say that I want to talk to Mr. Joshi. Can you please tell Mr. Joshi that I am calling, I have called her or called him. And at that time, that person will try to connect you, okay, to Mr. Joshi. At that time, he will say that I will put you to him, okay, him or her or whatever the name of that person, okay. So this expression is also used in telephonic communication. Or you can also say that will you ring up again, okay, will you ring up again. Another expression that can be used here is that could you give me your number, okay, could you give me your number please, don't forget please, okay, because you have to be very polite in telephonic communication. Or that you want to talk to is not available there and someone else has picked up the phone, and at that time that person can ask you for the reason, okay, behind calling, or the message if you want to give to that person. Then that person will say that I will pass on this message to her, okay. So in this way you can communicate on the phone. These are very common expressions used in telephonic communication, right? That is, I will hold on, I will put you through to him or her, or will you ring up again, could you give me your number please, i will I will pass on this message to her or him, okay. If caller says please tell him, if caller says, or you can also for example, if caller says, please tell him Mr. Kale called him, your response will be certainly or I will. Now, if there is a character A, okay, and that has called someone, okay, but that person is not available there, so he will say that please tell whatever the name of that person, okay, please tell Mr. Kale that, and here will be the name of that person, that is that Mr. A called him, okay. On the other hand, the character B, okay, who has picked up the call, reply by saying that certainly, certainly, I will. Okay. So this happens frequently that when you call someone, that person is not available there. Okay. So at that time, what do you say? You say that please tell him, please tell the name, please tell whatever the name of that person. Please tell Mr. Sawan that Mr. A called him, and then that person says, okay, sure, or certainly, I will. Then you have to say thank you very much, that's very kind of you. Then the response will be you are welcome, okay. So here again Mr. A will say thank you very much, okay, and then they will reply, you are welcome, or it's my pleasure. Okay. So in this way, we start the communication. Okay, telephone communication, and there are certain expressions that I have just given you, which are frequently used in telephonic communication. Okay. Sometimes you have to ask the caller his or her name. Okay, telephone number, purpose of calling, etc. You can ask it politely. Okay. How? For example, if you want to ask a name, telephone number, or purpose of calling, you can say that I have may I have your number, please. Okay. May I have your number, please? Or may I know he is calling? Okay. So by using these two expressions, you can ask the caller about his or her name, telephone number, or purpose of calling. Okay. So now I would like to give you one task. Okay, that you have to solve. Okay, right now. Now, for example, there is a character, and that character has called someone or the person. Puja is that person. Okay, speaking. Dot. So then the next person will say that out of station game. Okay. Okay. Then after in a blank space. Okay. And then let's try to answer these. Uh, which words do you see in the blank space? Okay. Good morning. Am I? Okay. Then you can also say that I'm sorry, or uh, out of station. Okay. Then yes, read the expressions very carefully. Okay, and then try to answer. I am Himangi. Please tell her. Please tell her. Himangi, whatever I have taught you now. Okay. You just have to pick one of those expressions and fill it in the blank space here. Okay. Sure. Then okay, I would like uh, then, for example, if that person is not there, okay, then what will you say? It, Mr. Bilari. Okay, to you. Yes, answer. Yes. Is my screen visible to you? Hello. Hello. Yes. Okay. So we shall stop here. Okay. So in my next lecture, we will see the remaining part. Okay, that is formal communication and how to have an effective formal communication. Okay, in formal communication we have to learn inquiry, like train timing or asking for ambulance, then asking to reserve a suite. Okay, so what I taught you today is some introductory part of telephone communication. What is the difference between telephonic communication and face-to-face communication? Then how to start a conversation on the phone. Then how to begin a conversation, telephonic conversation, and how to greet someone on the phone. Okay. Then how to ask for the person, right? Then fixing appointments, receiving messages, booking accommodation. Okay, so all these things will be taught to you in my next lecture. Okay, so let's stop here. Okay, thank you.